Let's go behind the scenes of the most complex organization you'll ever encounter, your own body. We're about to dive into the secret chemical messaging system that runs the entire show. Think of it like a biological internet, sending critical data 24/7. Ready to see how it all works?
So think about it for a second. How does your body send a message from your brain to your stomach that you're full? Or tell your muscles to get ready for action, like right now? It all happens instantly, with no wires. The secret? It's all down to these incredibly powerful little chemical messengers called hormones.
The whole operation is run by what's called the endocrine system. Honestly, the easiest way to picture it is like a giant company. Let's call it the corporation of you. And the endocrine system? That's corporate headquarters. It uses hormones to send out memos and directives to all the different departments, telling them exactly what to do.
So, to really get how this company works, we're going to take a little tour. We'll start at the secret HQ, then head up to the command center. After that, we'll meet the teams that handle your metabolism and mood, then check out stress and energy management. We'll even see the long-term planners. And finally, find out what happens when that communication breaks down.
All right, first up, corporate headquarters. But, this isn't some big shiny skyscraper. It's actually a whole network of glands spread all throughout your body, all working together in perfect, quiet harmony.
The messages themselves, those are the hormones. Just picture them as little memos sent out through a super special delivery service, your bloodstream. They travel everywhere. But here's the cool part. They only affect the specific departments or cells that have the right mailbox to receive them. It's a really secure, really targeted system.
Of course, every big company needs leadership, right? So now, let's head on up to the executive suite and meet the absolute top of the food chain, the CEO and the COO of your body's entire operation. So in the corner office, we've got the hypothalamus. This is our CEO. It's the critical link between your nervous system, which is kind of like your body's electrical grid, and this wireless hormonal network. And reporting right to the CEO is the pituitary gland, our chief operating officer. People call it the master gland because it's the one that takes the CEO's big picture ideas and turns them into actual orders for all the other departments. And the chain of command here is totally straightforward. The CEO, your hypothalamus, senses what the body needs and sends out a command. The COO, your pituitary, gets that order, translates it into very specific instructions, and sends those instructions down the line to a specific department, which is one of your other glands. And that gland gets the memo and gets to work. Simple as that. So who are these other departments? Well, let's meet the teams that are responsible for your day-to-day rhythm. The ones handling your energy budget, your internal clock, and making sure all the routine maintenance gets done. First, you've got the pineal gland. Think of it like the department in charge of turning the office lights on and off. It produces melatonin. That's the hormone that tells your whole body, okay, time to shut it down for the night. Then you've got the thyroid gland. This is kind of like the finance department. It releases thyroxine to control your metabolism, which is really just a fancy way of saying how fast your body burns through its energy.
And what's amazing is that this whole system is about maintaining a really delicate balance. Take calcium, for example. It's super important for your nerves and muscles. So your thyroid releases calcitonin, which tells your body to store any extra calcium in your bones. Basically, it puts it in the bank. But working against it, you have the parathyroid glands, which release a hormone to make a withdrawal, pulling calcium out of the bones when your blood needs more. It's this perfect push and pull.
Okay, next up, let's meet the departments that handle the crises. The ones that manage the company's fuel supply and kick into high gear whenever you're stressed out or need a sudden burst of energy. This is your body's emergency response team, the adrenal glands. The inside part, the medulla, is your first responder. It's the one pumping out adrenaline for that classic fight-or-flight rush. The outer part, the cortex, is more like the long-term crisis management team. It makes hormones like cortisol to handle ongoing stress, and others like aldosterone to manage your body's salt and water balance. Energy management is another one of these critical balancing acts. Your pancreas is basically the logistics department for your body's fuel. When you eat something, it releases insulin, which tells your cells to grab sugar out of the blood and store it for later. But if your blood sugar gets too low, it releases another hormone, glucagon, which tells your liver, hey, release that sugar we stored. It's just a really elegant system to keep your engine running smoothly. All right, so we've covered the day-to-day stuff and the emergencies. Now let's talk about the departments that are focused on the future of the whole corporation: long-term development, growth, and of course, reproduction. And these are the gonads. You could call them the departments of legacy. In males, you have the testes, which produce testosterone.
That drives things like sperm production and other physical traits. In females, the ovaries produce estrogen and progesterone, which regulate the menstrual cycle and support pregnancy. These are the hormones that guide our development right from puberty and make sure the corporation can create a whole new generation.
So, this whole system sounds pretty perfect, doesn't it? But what happens when the memos get lost, or they get sent to the wrong department, or maybe the instructions on them are just wrong? Well, that's when communication fails, and that can lead to some pretty big problems inside the corporation of you. And here's just a quick snapshot of what that kind of breakdown can look like. A problem up in the executive suite, the pituitary, can mess with growth. If the thyroid, our finance department, starts acting up, it can throw off everything from development to metabolism. And if the pancreas can't manage the fuel supply correctly, the result is diabetes. You can see how every single one of these issues is a direct result of a tiny failure in this incredibly precise chemical network.
You know, at the end of the day, it's worth remembering this. From how much energy you have, to your mood, to how you handle stress, all of it comes down to this constant, silent conversation happening inside you. It's a conversation that, in so many ways, creates the story of you.
So what are the big takeaways from our little corporate tour? Well, number 1, the endocrine system is your body's HQ. Number 2, the hypothalamus and pituitary are the command center calling all the shots. 3, all these hormones have to work in a delicate balance to regulate everything from sleep to stress. And finally, when that balance is off, it can lead to some really significant health issues. So there you have it, a tour of the corporation of you. From the C-suite down to the teams on the ground, it's an unbelievably complex and amazing operation. So I'll leave you with this. Now that you've met the management team, what's the one thing, the adrenaline rush, the sleep cycle, something else entirely, that you're most curious to learn more about? Thanks for joining me.